Session at 9:37. No action or vote was taken while we were in closed session. Let's move on here. We're going to start with the consent items. 4A, I'm going to read. If you want it pulled, we'll pull it. 4A, consider and take action regarding approving board minutes for the regular board meeting held on April 16, 2015. B, consider and take action regarding approving amendments to minutes for the regular board meeting held on April 17th and November 20th, 2014. C, consider and take action regarding approving ratification of an interlocal agreement with Bexar County for election services. D, consider and take action regarding approving monthly financial information as of April 30th, 2015. Consider and take action regarding approving amendments to the budget for the 2015 year.
Pull.
Okay. F, consider and take action regarding budget transfers across functions. G, consider and take action regarding approving a resolution to enter into an interlocal agreement for cooperative purchasing with Harris County Department of Education.
Pull.
That was Mr. Salinas. H, consider and take action regarding approving of expenditures equal to or greater than $50,000.
Pull.
I, consider and take action regarding approving request for proposal 15-09 for an employee time attendance system.
Pull.
J, consider and take action regarding approving request for proposal 15-14 for visual impairment instructional services. K, consider and take action regarding approving requests for proposal 15-17 for depository services. L, consider and take action regarding approving 2015-2016 secondary student fees. M, consider and take action approving update 100 affecting local policy second reading. And I have to read them all. M1, CKE local safety program risk management security personnel. 2, CPC local office management records management. 3, CRD local insurance and annuities management health and life insurance. 4, DC local employee practices. 5, DCB local employment practices and term contracts. D, DCD local employment practices at will employees. 7, DCE local employment practices other types of contracts. 8, FDA local admissions inter-district transfers. 9, FL local student records. Okay, we are voting on.
Second.
Okay, we're voting on 4A, B, C, D, F, J, K, L, and all of M. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Abstain.
Okay. One abstention.
One abstention.
I'll abstain also.
Okay. Okay, 2 abstentions. Okay, 4E, consider and take action regarding approving amendments to budget for the 2015 fiscal year.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Macias?
I'm going to say on record that I made a mistake. I didn't need to pull this item, but it's too late. I couldn't retract that, so
Okay.
I have nothing to say.
So all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. 4G, consider and take action regarding approving a resolution to enter into an interlocal agreement for cooperation purchasing with Harris County Department of Education.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Salinas?
Thank you. The only question, is this the one that I think we had them last year and they helped us with the Medicaid, collection of Medicaid, is that correct?
Mr. Salinas, the Harris County Department of Education, the item we've used them for in the past is for the safety and security audits for the schools. For Medicaid, we're using Houston ISD for that particular
We're
item,
using
the SHARS
another
program.
one, right?
I'm sorry?
For special ed, we use another one?
Yes, we do.
Houston, I.
Houston.
Okay. Okay, that's it, sir. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Ms. Michelle abstains. Okay, 4H, consider and take action regarding approving for expenditures equal to or greater than $50,000.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Macias, second, Mr. Flores. Mr. Macias?
Yeah, I had a question. We do have the Creative Learning Systems, which is a JSTEM initiative. The local cost is $149,970. Just for my understanding, are these funds, I guess, being allocated for this particular smart lab? That's what it is. It's an educational system called Smart Labs for next academic year, or is it something that we've already purchased into and we're just now paying it?
We are purchasing it for next school year, and the funds are already in the budget this year as part of this second year startup for that program.
And so when we have our budget discussions, we're looking at JSTEM, this has already been allocated for this year.
It will be for next school year. However, there will probably be something in there. If we have to pay an annual maintenance agreement, it'll depending on when it's going to be paid, if it's going to be paid during the next fiscal year, then we'll add it during that year. If not, it'll be in the following year.
Okay.
And actually, this may be a subscription. Mr. Ashmore, do you know if this is an annual subscription amount?
I did not. There's a small annual fee.
Okay, so this will be the initial cost, and there will be a small annual subscription fee after that.
And small being like 10% potentially?
10 to 20%, yes, sir.
No, I think it was really small, like $2,000. Yeah.
Like how much? 4%. $4,000.
Well, great.
So really small.
Well, thank you.
Any further questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ms. Michelle abstains. Okay, 4J, consider and take action regarding, Aye, consider and take action regarding approving request for proposals 15-9 for an employee attendance system.
Motion.
Mr. Macias?
Thank you. This question, I guess, I don't know who can field it, if Dr. Montoya or Mr. Elizondo or Mr. Ashmore, but there's two vendors selected. There's a 5-year cost associated with this particular item. That 5-year cost is $411,701. I do know we have an annual additional periods to renew, 4 additional 1-year periods. What is the annual cost? I mean, that's a 5-year cost of $411, and maybe I missed it in the document. What is the annual cost for this?
There is an initial cost to purchase the system, and it is in the tabulations that are in the pages following. So, like for the company that we're actually recommending, the year 1 cost is $377,520, and then after that, there is an annual cost in years 2 through 5.
It's about $20,000 a year is the annual.
Okay. Did you hear that, Mr. Macias? About
So-
$20,000 a year
So if
after
it's
that.
$377 and it's $20,000 a year, roughly, you start adding that up, and that goes over the 411 for 5 years. So I'm trying to understand that a little bit better.
Mr. Ashmore, would you mind coming up here and looking at the expanded tabulation, please?
Good evening. Mr. Macias, the initial first-year cost is $315,360.
$315? Okay.
And then all 4 of the annual renewal charges following that year, it comes up to about $96,000. So that's where that total of $411 comes up. So that's the total 5-year cost out the door.
Okay, great. And my last question then is, there is a combination, expenditures will be made from local funds as well as child nutrition. Is that a 50-50 split or 60-40, or what's that distribution look like?
Go ahead. You want me to do it?
What's
What's going to happen is that we're purchasing the entire system out of the local funds, but the child nutrition program asked if we could place clocks in the cafeterias for their employees. So we said, yes, we'll definitely do that, but they have to pay for those clocks if they want additional clocks. So that's the portion that's going to be theirs to pay. I think their portion is like $90,000 for the clocks. Do you remember?
It's just shy of half.
Okay.
So 45% maybe? Okay. Well, great. That answers my questions. Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Flores?
Mr. Elizondo, What do we amortize this over, this capital expenditure?
That one more time, sorry?
We're capitalizing this equipment, right? And what do we see the life of the,
You know, according to the vendors, they do like any other software. There's several components to it. There's a software component, and then there are the actual clocks that you hang on the walls.
Right.
The software gets upgraded every so often. They do upgrades every 2 or 3 years or whenever they want to release upgrades. So it's up to us whether or not we want to purchase those upgrades. But there does become a point in time where we have to, because then they stop supporting the older software versions that they've had. So, you know, when we've talked to them, you could potentially stay with the same software for 4 or 5 years, 6 years for the software component. Now, the clocks will last until, you can just keep using them until they break. So those, when we talk to the other school districts that were using clocks, some of them have had clocks for 10, 12 years. It just depends on what kind of abuse they have, what kind of use they have. If they're in a very high, where there's a lot of employees and they're gonna go out a lot quicker than somewhere where there may be, less employees. So it depends, but you're not only paying for the hardware and the software here, you're paying for the training to have everybody to be able to use the system. You're paying to actually have the system installed, all the clocks on the walls, all the infrastructure. It's all part of the cost.
so, but the software in 4 years, we could be having to repurchase some software for it.
It may be an upgrade to this, but in the annual maintenance, there are allowances for that. So there may be some cost to purchase the new one, but it depends on the different strategies. Different companies do it differently. Some companies will say, well, as long as you're paying the annual maintenance, when the upgrade comes up, there's no cost. You just continue to pay the annual maintenance and you get the upgrades for free. Where other companies may say, well, we'll do that, but if you have any customs, like if you wanted us to program something a little different, we're gonna charge you something a little different just for the customs, because when we go to the new system, we're gonna charge you just to make those customs work on the new system. So as long as we're paying the annual maintenance, the upgrades, we should be able to receive the upgrades. It's just up to us as to when we want to upgrade. We may say, well, yeah, you released it this year, but we want people to use it for 2 or 3 years before we know that it's working great, and then we'll take it after that. Or we may say 6 months right after they release it, yeah, we're ready to take it, we'll take it now. It's just up to us.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Mr. Salinas?
Dr. Montoya, can I question Mr. Elizondo, sir?
Yes, you can continue, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Elizondo, is this the one that's going to eliminate the pink sheets?
No, sir. The pink sheets we've already eliminated. Those were for reporting when you were going to be out of work. You're sick, and so we have systems called ASOP, which is our sub-finding system, subcontractor, which
Correct.
we're using for that right now. Now, I will tell you that we are doing different reviews with this particular time management system, because we may use it for our employees that are not on the ASOP system, which are really our hourly employees, the maintenance folks, the transportation, custodial. They don't really use the ASOP system. They're going to be using this particular system to anytime they want to be off, they're going to be recording it through this system. So that's how that's going to be managed.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mr. Ashby. We're voting on 4I. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Abstain. Michelle abstained. And I think that's it, right? Okay. Discussion items. 5A, consider and take possible action regarding approving a resolution relating to the passage of Senate Bill 149 and assessment graduation requirements. Motion, Mr. Mencia, second, I think, Mr. Salinas.
Someone has to read the resolution?
Yep. I know, I gotta pull it out here.
Do the members of the board understand what that is? Mr. Gonzalez, if you'd please step up. And this is something that the legislature just passed literally 2-3 weeks ago, and the governor signed into immediate effect. But go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Just gives principals the ability to have meetings with parents and counselors, as well as teachers of the EOCs, that's end-of-course exams that the students have not mastered, and they are able to review at least 15 different pieces of data if they so choose to determine whether or not a student can earn their diploma. So what you're voting on tonight and what is being read is that proclamation that gives the district the power to surpass some of the board policies that are in place with regard to graduation.
Any questions? Anyone? All, we got a motion.
You want to read the resolution? or is
Yeah.
that-
I'll read it, I got it. Okay, I'm gonna read it. Resolution of the Judson Independent School District Board of Trustees, whereas Senate Bill 149, introduced in the regular session of the 84th Texas Legislature, provides that a student who has failed no more than 2 end-of-courses assessments and who meets all other graduation requirements may be permitted to graduate and receive a diploma if the student satisfies certain additional requirements and receives the unanimous approval of an individual graduation committee. Whereas Governor Greg Abbott has signed Senate Bill 149 into law, whereas Senate Bill 149 is effective immediately, and its provisions specifically contemplate steps to take by a school district to implement its requirements in the 2014-2015 school year. Whereas there are students presently enrolled in Judson ISD whose ability to graduate and receive a diploma may be impacted by the immediate effects of implementation of Senate Bill 149. Whereas the Judson ISD Board of Trustees has adopted policies EIF and FMH local to address matters of law and local discretion regarding student graduation and insurances of diplomas. And whereas Judson ISD Board policies IEF and FMH legal and local do not reflect new legal requirements of Senate Bill 149 nor any local procedures for implementing such requirement therefore. Be it resolved that the requirements of Senate Bill 149 are to be implemented in Judson ISD effective immediately, notwithstanding any conflicting or inconsistent language in current Judson ISD policy. That Judson ISD administration is hereby authorized to take steps necessary to ensure immediate implementation of Senate Bill 149. That the Board of Trustees hereby ratifies any action already taken by the administration to ensure immediate implementation of Senate Bill 149. The board policies IEF and FMH legal and local will be updated and amended as necessary and in accordance with the board's customary procedures to reflect the changes to the law and local procedures for graduation. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Okay, thank you. Yes,
I would like to pull the next item until I get time to talk it over with Mr. Gonzalez.
okay, 5B's,
Also, I'd like to have it put on next Thursday.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, 5B's pulled. 5C, consider take possible action regarding approving contact renewal list for the teachers and counselors for the 2015-16 school year. Motion, Mr. Macias, second, Mr. Macias. Mr. Refoil, I'm sorry, Mr. Refoil.
You can't second his own.
I know.
I second it.
Yeah, y'all sound alike.
Getting tired, man.
Y'all, I am getting tired. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Ms. Pichelle abstains. 5D, consider and take possible action regarding approving the personnel report and update, including new hires, resignation, and administrative appointments. Motion, Mr. Macias, second, Mr. LaFoil. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Ms. Pichelle abstains. Superintendent report. Dr. Montoya.
At this time, kind of a very brief update on the construction side. The Evans Road is going very well, and I'll go ahead and let Mr. Fields briefly share information.
Yes, sir. The Evans Road project is going really well. It's 53% complete, even though we've had a lot of rainy days out there. It's about 90% dried in. They're working on the front skin of the school, the brick, the stone, the metal, and they're putting in the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing throughout the building. And they've also begun construction on the water waste treatment plant in the back and the subgrading of the baseball and softball fields since you approved it last board meeting. Yes, sir.
Excuse me. With all the rain that we've had and everything, have you been able to see any spots?
Oh,
or-
yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. With all the rain that we've had, have you been able to see any areas that there may be trouble that we may have to work on as far as the ground swell or anything like that goes?
No, sir. A lot of what's going on out there now is the construction of the building. So most of the land around the structure is bare. So it's a slip and slide when you go out there. Until that starts to dissipate and we put up some landscaping, we won't be able to get a true understanding for what's gonna be an issue
how it
for us
might
and
be,
what's
yeah.
not. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Also, the water main extension is about 99% complete. We've already hooked up the water, it's running. We do have to go back and put down hydro seed and sod in the areas that we disturbed and putting down the line. Once we finish, we'll be able to go back and get our refund from SAWS, for lack of a better word, of what they owe us from putting in the water line in the first place. And then the last thing is the Wagner track, which again is about 95% complete. They put down the final coat on the track. All they have to do is stripe it, but we still have to hydro seed and put down sod over there on the football field and around it where we disturb the landscaping and putting down the track. And that's the subcontractor who's responsible for that.
Mr. Salinas?
Coming back to Evans High School, I had
Yes.
one of my constituents stop me the other day and said, do we have any plans for the Evans Road?
Yes, sir.
That's
And
next.
I think at one time we discussed the county
That's
is
next.
gonna come back and.
I got that on agenda next.
Huh?
That's my
That's next
agenda
on the
next.
agenda.
We're gonna talk, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
We can do it now, we're done, right?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go
No
into
problem.
it.
Done. We
Okay,
go
thank
into
you,
it
it's
now.
right in there. What is it? 6B, discussion condition Evans Road. I put this on here because I probably got more phone calls in the last 3 weeks on this than anything I've had on it. Mr. Fields, Mayor Daley, myself, Mr. Fields, Dr. Montoya, we have called everybody of Bear County at least twice.
Yes, sir.
Okay? We are making, hopefully, we have some meetings set up. And hopefully we will come to some sort of agreement. The problem is it's sort of no man's land out there. No one lives on that road. No one votes. If you can tell right where the Selma city limits stop and the city begins. So I just want everyone to know we're working on it. It's not an easy thing, and I don't want to say anything out of step or out of turn, but I can pretty much tell you that it won't be done by opening that new school, because there's nothing on the plans to do it. Mr. Fields, you want to add, Dr. Montoya, Mr. Fields?
Members of the board, I think the big issue there is obviously safety. In front of that high school, the road going all the way to Evans and Nacogdoches, basically. So we are literally trying to force the issue with certain political entities to have meetings so that we can try to figure out how we're going to deal with the road. The other piece will also be the railroad, because we're going to be meeting with the Union Pacific people, was it
The 26th of May,
next week, right?
Yes, sir.
On some safety issues. So it all kind of comes together relating to the road. It's going to take time, but at the same time, we have to continue to get to a point where something has to be done.
Mr. Fields, anything else?
Only that we have another meeting with Councilman Gallagher on the 2nd of June.
Yeah, okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you. 6C's been pulled, we're gonna do that the 28th, but they weren't ready for everything. 6D, update on board training, conference events, future agenda items. Mr. Salinas, do you have anything, sir?
No, sir. We attended the Simon Youth
Yes.
today, and it was real nice. Some of our students received approximately $50,000 in scholarships. It was terrific, and so that was nice. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Burchell, anything? Okay, Mr. Flores?
Yeah, I want to apologize for not being able to go to the retirement dinner. But then I was remiss when I heard from some employees that we were not doing our service recognition at the same time as we have in the past. I know I spoke with Dr. Montoya about this, and I think now at this time, you know, we're concerned about employee morale and stuff. That's not the way to go, to not recognize them. So, and I believe that, Dr. Montoya, you had some solution.
Yeah, and as we spoke before the meeting, talking to our HR director, we are going to do an activity literally in the next few days which needs to be done, that we should not have been remiss in that, in being honest, but now we'll address it and make sure it doesn't happen, and we will have an activity to rightfully honor those groups.
Thank you. Oh, another thing, we've got, are we gonna talk about the calendar later?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Start.
Dr. Salinas?
No,
Anything?
Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. LaFoil?
Yes, I know about
Okay.
it. Hold on to your hat. Yesterday, we did the JEF Scholarship Squad, which we give away a lot of scholarships to a lot of deserving children. Today, we did the JEF Prize Patrol Parade, or I think they call it parade now. That went from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We made a lot of teachers happy. Now, we have coming up next month, on the 8th, the Jeff Golf Tournament. On the 6th, we have the Youth Football Camp. That's the 6th and the 7th. We got a lot of things coming up, folks. I'd like to see you all there. That's about it.
Thank you. Mr. Macias?
No, just also to add to Mr. LaFoyle, we do have the Summer Leadership Institute coming up on the 11th, I believe, of June, which will be a really big deal, and it's always good to see colleagues from across the state. So that's coming up for us.
Okay, calendar. If you got your calendar in front of you, know it's, we're busy. Mr. Flores?
We have at the college, they have a STEM this Saturday from 9 to 1, I believe. So, that'll be, yeah, Lakeview College, so that'll be good to attend.
When is that?
Anything else? The 28th, as you know, we're going to have a lot, it's going to be a long meeting on the 28th, budget and everything, so be prepared for that, okay?
23rd, right?
The other thing I want to do
Yeah.
now is we passed the motion to start the Board Audit Committee. Mr. Flores is chairman. I'd like to have Dr. Salinas and Ms. Purcell be on the Audit Committee, if you would, for me.
Absolutely.
Okay, Ms. Purcell? I think new eyes, new perspective, kind of go in, looking at everything with fresh eyes. And then, the way that works,
Same day.
come back to us and make a recommendation, and we can farm out some audits if we need it, okay? Okay, moving on.
Yeah, we have one other thing.
Okay.
Justin High School Rocket Review, 5 p.m. Saturday at the PAC.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Last year was great.
And then, okay, is that it? Anybody else? Okay, 8, consider and take possible actions regarding items discussed in closed session. I'm pulling 8A. 8B, consider and take possible action to delegate authority for the superintendent to resolve certain claims against the district and authority to waive certain district claims. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I move.
Mr. Mencia is doing a motion.
I move that we authorize the superintendent to resolve certain claims against the district up to the amount of $5,000 and waive certain district claims up to the amount of $5,000.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Flores, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? 8C, consider and take possible action regarding approving a settlement release agreement with at-will employees. Do I have a motion?
Motion, sir.
Second.
I move. Do we have a second?
No, read it first.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
gotta read it first.
I
just
move that
rushing
the
you.
board approve settlement and release agreements with 2 at-will employees as discussed in closed meeting, and that we authorize Dr. Montoya to execute the agreements on behalf of the district.
Second.
Second, Mr. LaFoil. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We don't have to do D, do we? We did D. We already did D. Okay. Okay, we're done.
Thank
Go ahead.
God.
The board meeting in June is set for the 18th. And I know I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be at SLI in Fort Worth because I can't do San Antonio this year. So I don't know if we want to
Anybody-
consider moving it. Jose, did you miss it
you
last
take
year?
my
You went to
calendar?
Fort Worth last year.
Yeah, I did.
my calendar.
I'm going to tell
Yeah,
you
put it right here.
that it was a good conference, but San Antonio is just a larger conference. But
Right,
it wasn't
right.
bad. It worked with my
The only reason
schedule.
I'm going there is because I have to be at work on Thursday and Friday here. My boss is out of town, so.
It's
That's what I
pretty
did last
tight
year.
through there, the bond, You want to move the 17th, or you want to keep it on
I'll be gone.
the 17th? 17th, okay, well, let's keep.
No, you got a quorum.
Yeah, we'll keep, okay, we'll keep it, okay. Anybody got anything else? Anything else? Yes.
We have to do 8A.
No, we poured it. That's the one we poured. Okay. Anybody else? I think it was a great meeting. Thank you all. I think we got a good start with this new board, new superintendent. Meeting is adjourned at 10:10. Thank you.